Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 4 of geometry. There's a couple of new concepts being added. That is for a sphere, which is just like any round ball that you would see. It's perfectly round, three-dimensional, in which every exterior point is exactly the same distance from the center. So it's a perfect circle. You could think like baseball, soccer ball, volleyball, basketball, without any of the ridges or texture on the outside. Just a perfectly round spherical ball. Maybe the best example would be something like a field hockey ball because it's a round, hard rubber ball with no texture on the outside. Just perfect round every point along the outside, exactly the same distance from the center. Hemisphere would be if you chop that in half. So if I were to go right down the middle, chop it in half, I would have a hemisphere. The volume of a sphere is going to be volume equals 4 over 3 times pi times radius cubed. So this is to the third power. That's going to be the main part that's different. Keep in mind any quizzes or work you're doing, you can always keep looking back to this as your reference. The hemisphere being half as large is the same equation, but instead of 4 over 3, it is 2 over 3. So a hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. So those are your two equations. The way you would apply these would be, if you look at number 1, you are going to go volume equals 4/3 pi, radius is 6. All I'm doing is plugging in the radius of 6, and I am cubing that. 6 times 6 times 6 would give me 216. Again, I like to multiply first here, so I multiply that value times my numerator of 4, which is going to give me 864 divided by 3, still times pi. I keep pi in my answer. 864 divided by 3 would give me 288 pi, and then I'll add in my units, which is inches cubed. If I decide to multiply out that pi, the 3.14159, I would get a final answer of 904.8 still inches cubed. So these are both correct answers. It just depends if you leave it in terms of pi or if you get the complete decimal answer. Either one's fine, and I believe I rounded mine to the nearest 1/10. So if you get something that is off by a couple of hundreds, you probably gave the more exact answer. I just rounded off to the nearest tenth. The same mathematical equation will be done if I'm going to do a hemisphere. The only difference, again, is I'm multiplying by 2/3 instead. So I plug in the equation, 2/3 pi, radius is 9, raised to the third power. So again, first I'm going to get rid of that cubed. So 9 times 9 times 9 will give me 729. I'm going to multiply that again by just the numerator, which is 2. So I'm going to end up with volume equals 1,458 divided by 3 multiplied times pi. Then I go ahead and simplify my fraction to give me 486 pi feet cubed. And then also, like I said previously, if I want the decimal answer, I actually plug this into a calculator or I multiply by the 3.14159, and it's going to give me 1,526.8 feet cubed.